Hey everybody, so I am back with just an update on my Bolt Action. I have managed to get about 14 finished of my troops, and I didn't actually have to paint one of the non-commissioned officers yet, and I still have a number of troops to paint as well as the vehicle, and as well as you know, like my support, some of my support, like my heavy machine, my light medium machine gun team and things like that. But I just kind of thought I'd show what I was up to and how they're looking, how they're coming along. What I ended up doing is I used just some basic colors. I used a you know, and a lot of these are the colors that are just recommended by Warlord in order to paint US Infantry. But what I ended up doing is I used Army Painter Strong Shade as the shade, and then I used just like a gloss and matte varnish, but mostly matte, just to tone that shine down that it provides. I think I'm pretty happy with the way they came out. I'm going to be doing a lot of these, and I just you know, wanted them to come out decent, but also knew that personally I wasn't going to be doing a lot of highlighting like on all of them, and so they actually start out kind of bright because you use some really light colors. Some of the recommendations use what they call dark sand, you know, for the backpack and all that kind of stuff, and it comes out really bright when you first do it, but then you put the strong shade on and it really tones it down and puts a lot of definition. I think it came out pretty good. And so these are the guys, and like I said, these are all regular troops, no officers in there, nothing special. I do have some of the guys do have the Browning rifle. You know, a couple of them have that. I've equipped the guys with the Browning rifle, and then I also have the rest of the guys have what I believe is the M1 Garand or the semi-automatic Garand. I think this is the semi-automatic one, because as I understand it, with the rules, in order to use some of the Americans' rules for advancing, special rules, there's certain rifles they have to use, and I don't believe that the Springer, which they do supply you with, is actually listed as one of the options. And so that's kind of why I did what I did. And in some cases, none of these guys have bayonets, but in order to have enough M1s, I've actually supplied some of the Garands with the bayonets on the front, and they'll be some of the ones I do in the future. Just to give you a look, I have shown, I think in other videos, some of my officers, but I've actually assembled more. But what I'll be doing next is just 5 officers before I then work on other troops. My NCOs are this guy, who's sort of got his arm back, you know, telling people to stop. You know, I've equipped them with, most of them with submachine guns. This guy is similar, except he's pointing. And I'll be painting their jackets a bit different, a bit of a darker green. My understanding is that that's one of the variants and options. Let me just show this guy first. This is the other NCO. He actually has a regular Garand rifle. That was a bit of an accident. This is what I would call just learning a game and then modeling. But you can actually use them with the rifle if you don't want to expend the points, and so I just left it like that for now. He's got like just sort of a cap, but I'll be using him as one. And then lastly, my actual lieutenant model. He's got, I actually used the head from the, it's actually a metal head rather than a plastic head, and it's from the, I believe it's the machine gun team. Comes with a bunch of heads, and so I just used one of them just so I have a different looking face for my my lieutenant. So he's got binoculars in one hand and a pistol in another, with a just a pistol holder there. I saw it get a little bit of primer under there, it looks like, from where I was airbrushing the primer. But yeah, so pretty cool, and quite happy with things so far with Bolt Action. I will say that this has taken me a bit longer than I expected, and part of it is the assembly that I talked about in another video. There's just a lot of assembly. The painting wasn't as bad as like as far as, you know, it was just typical painting that I'm used to, and you know, I think I got through it somewhat timely, you know, considering I did like 14. But it was just all of that assembly that I wasn't used to, that took quite a bit longer. Once I got past that, it was a lot easier. And of course, anytime I paint a bunch of models, like it's usually the first couple I find take me a little bit longer as I'm figuring out where everything is on the model and how I want to paint it, and just getting my brush strokes where I want and stuff. And then once I do that, I'm kind of used to it. It goes a lot quicker. But yeah, so I'm actually playing a game this weekend coming up, and I wanted to have some stuff on the table that was painted. I'm actually thinking I'll probably at least have these guys done by then. I'll likely have a bunch of troops and a couple vehicles that are primed, but it'll look like I put some effort in at least, and so so it'll be good. Okay, hope everybody's having a good one, and talk to you later.